Because this is about Brexit. But can you tell me what was sung about, specifically about Brexit in the song? What was the singer singing about? Anyone? What about in the video clip? Did you see people holding up some placards? What does the sign say? The signs, they're holding the signs. Oh, maybe this girl. You should sit here. Go. Anyone? You should be brave and sit in front.
People have spoken.
What does that mean? People have spoken.
And people. Yes. People.
Explain.
People have opinion. Yes.
And what?
And
what did they do?
He can say and he can.
Not really.
It's like that the UK citizen has already decided to leave the EU.
In what? How did they decide?
The referendum.
Yes, they already had a referendum. And what happened with the referendum?
Lead to Brexit. The term Brexit.
So the majority of the British people voted for leaving
the
EU. So these guys protesting are trying to tell the government
to end the Brexit as fast as possible. To get the UK out of EU.
So to respect
the people voice.
Our voice, because the majority has already voted for leaving the EU. Why are you still not leaving the EU? And they said, this is our the majority and the country is a democratic country, supposedly, right? Britain is supposed to be the leader, beacon of democracy. So, why are you not following the rules of democracy that when there's a referendum and the majority has already said we want to leave the EU, then the government and the parliament should follow the majority of the people in the country. So, what else? Anyone would like to add to this? Why, for example, is the UK hasn't left EU yet? Yes. Why actually is it say no, even though you voted, we're not going to respect your opinion? Why? For what reason?
No, maybe the government just want to compromise the EU and like make compromise between them. And
What do you mean compromise? Explain.
like
Okay, take your time. Okay. Right, I'm going to oscillate between male and female. Where's the microphone? Yeah, you can take your time to think more about it. Okay, come. Give her the microphone. Okay, say something. Anything, doesn't matter. Yes, whatever. Don't tell her anything. It must be her opinion.
Voting that they don't want to spend the money to help like with the low like the country that has low money.
Okay. So you think that one of the reasons why the people, the majority that voted in the referendum wanted the country to leave the EU. One of the reasons was that the country had to give money to EU to support other countries that are economically poorer. For example, Italy, Greece, and all those countries that they are supposed to be poorer, and they are very the British people think that they are philanthropists, so they use the money unwisely. It should not be our responsibility to help them because they spend their money unwisely and too much in things that were not reasonable. So they should take care of their own financial problems, not depending on us to support them. We have to keep sending them money to loan to them, you see, to try to get their financial situation to improve. So they think that we should come out of the EU. Anything else? Yes? Then you.
I'm not sure, but is it like terrorism?
That's one of the problem. I think that the person who is presenting this should expand on this more, but you're saying one of the problems that make these people want to leave the EU is because of terrorism, because the song also mentioned open borders. Open border means anyone can travel in and out of the country. You don't need any visa. To the border between Britain and other Euro community countries. So that means that you can have terrorists or criminals that can cross over the border to commit some crimes in the UK, kill a lot of people, and then they can escape out through the border to other countries and disappear. And the UK cannot catch them. They cannot track them. They don't know where they went. So this has been a lot of problems with the UK, and that's another reason why they feel that they should leave the EU. Yes?
There are many people in EU want to work in UK because because about the salary pay very high compared to in another
Yes.
country.
So very high living condition and high salary, they can get high pay, very good pay. So they feel that a lot of people want to migrate into the UK and get a job in the UK. That then leads to the British people not being able to find jobs. Yeah, because the jobs are taken away by these immigrants. Good?
About the terrorism.
Oh, somebody already mentioned terrorism. Yes, sorry about that. Yes. But I want to now hear why there are still people that are saying, no, we should leave the EU. Next, yes. But you can give your opinion, whatever you want to say. This one first, and this person, and then you. Yes. Whatever you wanted to say. Yes. What did you want to say?
I think that the UK want to leave the EU because the immigration.
Oh, somebody already mentioned that problem.
Like
You want to add something new to that?
yes.
Okay. What about immigration? What happens with immigration?
But it's similar to what we said.
You can't add anything new.
Like the other foreigner want to work in the UK, but they don't need our work permit.
No. What?
They want to work in the UK.
Yes, that's what they did. They talk. Someone would say that already. So I'm going to go to the guy there. Yes. อย่างนี้ซ้ำอ่ะยังไม่ให้คะแนนสิซ้ำไม่ให้คะแนน
The UK try to be different from EU for a long time.
Yes.
Example about like the money they use pound. They don't use the euro.
Yeah.
They try to get out for a long time, but the EU want them get out from the EU because the UK is a very big country. They have a big deal to deal with US.
Yes. So they think that good. They think that they don't need to be with the EU. They can make a deal with the US, which is also a big market.
Yep.
Compared to EU, they are really equal, more or less. So even though they can't get a good deal with the EU upon leaving it, then they don't care. They just make a deal with the US. That's what they feel. And China as well. Now, let me hear. No more leaving. Let me now hear why a lot of people still saying we should not leave the EU. Okay. And then you. And then you. You did not say it yet.
It's about the power of equity, about the economy. Like if you are just the UK, you have less power than EU.
Yes.
That's why Thailand
The ASEAN community.
more power to negotiate with
Other country economically. Yeah, because we then have more power. Because instead of us one single country, it's now like many countries. If you deal with me, you get Singapore and Malaysia and Philippines as well, something like that. Or not Philippines, not in us. Malaysia and Laos and Vietnam, Burma as well. See. And so together we are stronger at negotiating. It's just like the Euro community. So that's what the people in the UK, why some of the people in the UK is actually against leaving EU. Yes?
Maybe that they don't want to leave the EU because maybe it will cause the political problems between the UK and the country in the EU. So
What problem do you think?
something about political problems. Like
Okay, I give you a point. Yes. Not very clear. Where is the microphone though? Yes.
as someone said, that for this, people from another country want to work at the UK because it is well paid. But if UK get out from EU, people will make the worker will be lesser and it will affect the economy.
So you're saying that the workers that are taking the jobs in the UK, a lot of them are skilled workers, right? Because they're not going to be afraid of workers who are not very skilled to leave, but they are afraid that the skilled one, the highly skilled workers who leave the UK.
And even unskilled worker will be.
Oh, but they don't mind. Unskilled worker just go ahead and leave, right? They're not going to mind that they leave UK if they are unskilled. To make.
But both of them will make the.
No, if you just have the unskilled one is not helping your economy that much. You're not going to care that much, right? Oh my God, only 2 more. I'll see you 2 more, man.
I think that one of the reasons that they would not want UK to leave is that because I think UK is considered as one of the developed countries.
Yes.
And it'll be like not so good if it leaves the EU.
Why not?
I think that it will be a very beneficial for them if they would keep UK in the EU because with anything regarding the politics or either economics or trades.
You have to be clearer than that. Why? Why exactly would it be better in terms of trade or economy or finance? Exactly. Why?
They are really like advanced in what they are doing.
Who?
UK, they know what they are doing.
Right. So why would they need the EU? Because they
do
already
not
advanced.
need. They do not. And for me, I don't think that they need the EU because they already developed.
But we are not talking about staying anymore. We're talking about leaving. But I'll give you a point. Yes, we're talking about leaving. Why do we? We're talking about why we should not leave. Why?
We have freedom to work in 78 countries without using visa.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking that a lot of the UK people are now having their own business and investments in a lot of countries in the EU, and they have a lot of benefits through the EU agreements, right? So as soon as the UK leaves the EU, all these benefits will be gone. And the business, the investments that they have invested in the countries in the EUs would then go kaput. I mean, they would, have to close down, or they will lose money. They will lose a lot of money because a lot of benefits and advantages, exemptions, say, of tariffs or something like that would no longer be in effect. See? And so they're gonna lose a lot of money. And also, when they're in the EU, a lot of businesses like from Canada, from the US, from the Asian countries, they have set up centers in the UK because they thought that UK will be the door towards other countries in the EU. You see? Through the agreement that the UK has with the EU. But now if the UK leaves the EU, then all these businesses that set up their quarters in the UK will no longer be able to use UK as a jumping board to connect with the other countries in the EU. So they will pull out all these business from the UK. So UK will lose a lot of money, investment money from other countries that have invested in a lot of business just to be center, springboard to connect with other countries in the EU. That will no longer be able to carry on, see? However, people are saying that Well, they had a referendum and the majority said, we go, we leave. So we have to leave. Who thinks we should not respect that? Come on! Why? I think someone knows a good reason why we should not respect that. In democracy, this is the reason why they say democracy fails. Failure of democracy. Because when you have to respect the vote, but the voting may be not reliable according to the other side. Why? Why do they think that we should not respect the result of the referendum? You put it here and you don't know what to say. Come on, who knows? Anyway, I hope that. Okay. I'm saying, I'm trying to get you to say what you think about the fact that the majority in the referendum voted for leaving the EU, but the other guys who voted not to leave still say, no, we should not honor this result of the referendum. What is their reason for saying we should not? Because these guys say, our country is a democratic country. We voted, majority said go. So we should go. We shouldn't have another referendum. That's not democratic. We voted once, yes. Just like democracy in, say, Thailand, we voted for this party to be the government. The person who lost can't come and say, no, we don't respect that. Have another vote. Democracy would say no, right? You have to respect that vote. Once it's done, it's done. You can't say, I'm not happy with the result. Let's have another vote. That's not democracy, no. But in the UK, a lot of people are saying, we should not respect the result of that referendum. Why?
I think there are some group of people or some part of the reason that want to leave.
Yeah, want to leave, but
Want to be free from the reason. Like Scotland.
Scotland wants to leave.
Yes.
Yes. Who doesn't want to leave?
Doesn't want to leave. Scotland doesn't want to leave Britain, but they want Britain to remain in the EU.
They want Britain to remain. So they don't want to leave the EU.
They don't want to leave the EU, but they want to leave for the Britain.
That's another problem. Yes, you have an explanation.
In my opinion, I think the foundation of the democracy is you have to concern about the other side of the list. I mean the
You know?
you have to.
That's not the rule of democracy. When you vote, the majority then wins and go and form a government.
Maybe just and I think
You can't say, come on, I'm not happy. I lost the election, then have another election. Then the country goes bad and you can't go on.
and maybe an amount of the difference between the two groups is just a little bit. And like if
Still, in democracy, you can ask for a revote.
yeah. So you have
Recount, not revote, I'm sorry. Recount, but not revote. You think, okay, the difference in the vote is so small. There might be something like miscounting, right? Miscounting ก็คือนับผิด Then you can ask for a recount. นับกันใหม่ That you can do, but not vote over again. See, it costs a lot of money to, each time you have a general election. However, the argument. Last person, I hope you give a reasonable answer. I'm going to you. Yes? I think you gave an answer first already once, right? No, not yet. Right. Didn't you? Some person said something over here already. No? Yes, yes. So I'm going to her. Yes.
Because the ratio for left and remain is slightly the same percentage. So
Oh, that's not a good reason. You can't say that the number of votes for is just a little bit more than the number of votes against. Then we should vote again, have another referendum. That's not a reasonable excuse. However, yes, you can. You can only, like Trump, he won in some states, and the difference is in 1,000 only vote difference, but he won in that state. Then he won. You know, you can't say, okay, let's vote again, but you can ask for a recount if you doubt that the counting is really correct. Yes, last person. Yes.
Because the United Kingdom, they local countries like Scotland, Iceland, something like that.
Ireland.
Yeah, and they don't want to quit EU because
Right, but we voted, right?
Yeah.
So if we voted, all over the country, it's a general referendum. Everybody had the right to come out to vote, and they lost.
Yep.
So they should accept the majority opinion, the wish of the majority, right? That's the argument.
Yeah, but I want to know why like Switzerland or another country don't want to quit EU.
You don't know?
I asked you like why they don't want to quit, but UK want to quit more than them.
Because right now, like Ireland, they don't want to because the border is at the moment free. There is no real border at all. So you can travel back and forth, you can transport your goods to sell over there, and then you go over there to buy things. You know, there is no rigid border. But part of it will go to the European Union. Once the UK leaves the EU, part of it will belong to EU, and the other part remains in the UK. Now, its country will be split. Well, that's one of the problems. That's just one of the problems. Anyhow, the argument really was, at the time before the referendum, they claimed that a lot of people were telling untruth to convince people that leaving EU was good, it's beneficial, it will benefit you like this and that, and it is over propaganda to fool the people in UK who did not actually find out more. They just believe this propaganda. So they believe, oh, okay, they believe these people and they voted to leave the EU. But the other side said because they did not hear the truth, they were lied to. That if you leave the EU, oh, nothing's easy, you will not have any difficulty, you get this, you get that, it will be good. So that's why the majority, and they say the majority is using the older generation like me, that are conservative. They think UK is great, we don't need the EU. Say the older generations like very nationalistic. So they would believe all this propaganda and they voted under false pretense. See, that's the claim of the other side. They say we should have a new referendum, and before the new referendum, we should let them hear all the truth on both sides before we did it. They claim that the first referendum was too rushed. วิทำกันอย่างแบบtoo rushed. And so they did not have enough time to really think about whether they should leave the EU or not. Anyhow, when they lost rugby, England, they lost. Yes, so why don't you come up? I have this now. Hello. So, right now, please come up and help me to explain Brexit and EU, please. Who are you today? Come on up there, please. Who am I, by the way? Boris Johnson. And what would he say, you think? No, he's not silent. He's very outspoken. What side is he on? What side is he on? Leaving or staying? Leaving, right? So I said, if I'm Boris Johnson, I said, we deliver, it's our duty to deliver Brexit to the people. Because we had the referendum and we have to honor the result of our referendum. Okay? This is what Boris said. And Boris said he's going to deliver Brexit by the 31st of October. With deal or no deal. But 31st of October has already passed. And the Brexit is still not resolved. So please come up and tell us some more. Add more detail. They have not been listening to me very much. They still don't understand what I'm saying mostly. Sure. Yes. Yes, sure. Don't take too much time. You have 1 hour. You have 1 hour, okay? And I still don't have a handout. Why am I the last person to get the handout?
Good morning, everyone. Today, I would like to present about the European Union and Brexit. My name is Natasha and this is 205546. And my name is Isari Siri Person Sanchik 620556. Now let's see our logo.
เสียงอันนี้อายได้ก่อน
Once upon a time, somewhere in the world, there is the king named EU and the queen UK. First, they used to love each other. One day, the queen decided to break up with the king. She thinks that he doesn't love her anymore.
We know what all these things are. It's very hard to see what you have on. You say what? What? What are you supposed to say? Money? Why don't you say money? And then what is this? Being able to travel? Oh, say that. I want to be able to travel. What about this? Improvement of environment. Why did you throw it away? You have to say no. Why? What does it signify when you throw this away? Oh, really? And we losing security too? See here? Even me sitting there, I can't see what it is. So you have to talk. You have to have a line. You have to have lines that you say, so that you get the meaning across to the audience. Say, oh, we want security, and you say, okay, no security if you leave. But I don't understand why you lose security. If you leave the EU, you might explain that to me, right?
With a song straight out of every British heart that both relentlessly insults Europe and quietly acknowledges how lost we'd be without it. Please enjoy.
Fuck you,
What was the clip all about? You have to explain the clip first. What was he saying? Of course, it's filled with 12 words, but that's the British. The British loves to swear. They say fuck a lot in all their conversation. They keep saying words. So it is not, very shocking. Anyhow, it's the way they talk. But what was the song about? Should explain it.
It is if that United Kingdom shouldn't leave the European Union.
So to summarize, the song was just saying that they should not leave the EU. But why did they, swear upon EU throughout the song?
Well, I guess it's in the clip that told about the country like Slovenia, right? And some weaker countries. So the kids say some good word to EU, which means that they think it isn't necessary to help those kind of countries.
So they're like countries that some of them they don't even know where the countries are, and it's like a burden, right, on the economy of the EU. So that's one of the reasons why they think that the UK should leave the EU. But then we need the EU anyway. That's what the song says, right? Okay.
The history of the EU. At 1920, first established, the Robert Schuman proposed to improve the coal and the steel industry. At 1957, the Treaties of Rome, the 6 countries of the B.Sc signed the Treaties of Rome to create the European communities. Next, at 1939, the first parliament about the election is allowing the citizens to vote for candidates. At 1985, the Schengen Agreement built the Europe without the borders, known as the Schengen area. In 2002, the euros became currency. It replaced the national currencies and the 12 of the 15 of the EU. At 2008, the value of the euro, as well as the price of the value of the euro is very high, but the worldwide recession made the effect to the currencies later in the years.
So that means that the value of the euro actually dropped.
Yes.
In 2008.
Yes.
And after that, it keep dropping from 2008 and now it's still dropping, right? You think so? It's a prediction. How do you know that for sure? Who said so? Who says that the euro is going to increase next year? So, when you say something, you need to give the source of the information to back it up, to back up your claim. You cannot just, it's going to do so, but don't ask me how I know. Yeah. Even though you don't know it yourself, you read it from somewhere, and you say, this is according to that source. Yeah. Then we might believe you, or we might not. When that source is not very reliable, we might not believe you. Anyhow, like this. All these are from this one. Is it? Yes? So as I told you, you have to say over here, according to this, okay? Then comma, and then you say in, and in it. First, what first? Please write in a complete sentence. You should say the EU was first established. มีประธานกริยา okay? Was first established. Then, in 1957, a treaty was signed, right? Signed in Rome. Which is treaty in Rome, I don't know, we don't know what that is, see? And then in 1979, they set up a parliament. The first parliament was set up. เนี่ยเป็นประโยคนะ We talk in a sentence, a complete sentence, right? Okay. And then they had the Schengen Agreement in 1985. Do you know what this is, Schengen Agreement? Explain, please.
Schengen Agreement like the agreement for the
What? What?
It's like
Yeah. Relax and think about it. Don't get excited. Take your time, think about it. Don't be excited, you see. And then try to use very simple words. ใช้คำง่ายๆอธิบาย explain. What about this? What does this agreement say? What does it say? It allows.
It don't have the borders. It's the border is within the EU and in the Europe.
Okay, there will be no borders between the countries in the EU. And what else? You were saying about the visa. What is that?
It's like when if I paid, then I want to go to some country in the EU, I have to go without visa.
You have to be a member of EU. You have to be a member of EU country, right? To be able to travel from country to the other country without a visa. Am I right? Oh, you try to say using simple words. You can go from one country to the other country without a visa. That's Schengen agreement. But if say you are Thai and I want to go to certain countries, say 2 or 3 countries in the EU community, what do I need? What do I need? Do I need a visa? Yes? I need a visa. Suppose I want to go to France, I want to go to Germany, I want to go to Italy, and I want to go to Lithuania. Do I need a visa? 4 visas to go to, visa to Germany, visa to France, visa to Lithuania? You don't understand Schengen agreement. I don't need it. I just go to just one country, say France. If I'm going to go to France for longest time, I'm going to stay in France for the longest time. I have to go to the embassy of the French embassy, and I get a Schengen visa. And the Schengen visa will allow me to go anywhere without having to apply for another visa to another country in the EU. This is a Schengen agreement. It's called Schengen visa. Go ahead. Continue.
And the trade ties for this one, and the reason that it will create the power of the European Parliament.
The Treaty of Lisbon increased the powers of the European Parliament. So that is the reason, one of the reasons why the UK wants to leave, because they're feeling that they're losing power to the countries in the Euro, especially like countries like Germany or Denmark or Sweden, the strong ones in the Parliament, right? But the UK used to be an enemy of Germany, but now they feel that they can be dictated to by all these countries, especially Germany. Before the war, they were fighting Germany, right, during the World War II, and we won. The Allies won. But now, those countries in the EU now have power over the UK, and that's why a lot of the older generations dislike this. Okay, because it gives a lot of power to the Parliament of EU. Please go on.
Next about the purpose of the EU. Its purpose is to unite community in the global marketplace. At the same time, it must balance the needs of its independent people and the cost members. How it is going? The EU
Government ไม่ต้อง government บอกแล้วว่าเมื่อไหร่จะต้องออกเสียงบอกว่ายัง Did you take English with me or not? If you didn't take summer English with me, you don't know. Government. You don't have to pronounce it as government because you only do that when it's T or D. like ended, or paint. The word paint ends with a T. When you add an ED, then you say painted. That's all. For the other sound at the end, when you add an ED, you don't have to pronounce the ED. It's hidden. Okay?
The EU Council is the national government. They are elected by the people to make sure all members are equal. The first one is the EU Council. The EU Council says the policies and proposed new legislation. They change the leader every 6 months. The next is the European Parliament. It's the debate and the laws proposed by the councils. The members are elected. Yes. And the last one is the European Commission staff and execute the laws. Next is about the economy. The economy of the EU is the second largest in the world in nominal terms, and according to purchasing power politics. What are the advantages of the EU? At first, it helps to modernize the country. The laws about the human rights and peace prevent discrimination and make
discrimination. You everyone, not discrimination, it's discrimination.
And make social and economy grow together. Next is improving the local environment. For example, the quality of the seas which are better than us. The next is about the job creation. And the 10% of
So, before you are allowed to become a member of the EU, you have to make sure that the environment in your country is good enough, you see. So that you have to clean all your cities up, you have to clean all the beaches and the oceans up. Make sure that you look after your environment very well first, before they would allow you to become a member of the EU. And that's why you are saying that one of the pros of becoming a member of EU is that it improves local environment. The what? I have already explained this. Why it improves the local environment. I'm not asking you, I explained it for you already. I explained it for you already. Please go on. Job creation, what's that?
job creation and you pay up to 10% of the employment opportunities created is about the security. The European nations have forms of protection through NATO's from the UK. Next is about the economy.
I don't know though. I'm not convinced that you have more security by joining the EU. Why? Can you explain more? Because I seem to have heard that actually your security, homeland security, becomes compromised. Because people can travel, you can go in and out across your border freely. And you don't have to check, you have no way of checking because you're not supposed to check. You must allow them to walk in and out freely with no visa. So I would say that decreases this homeland security, not increase security. Can you argue with me on that? Explain.
When the members of the EU go to other countries of the EU, then it has the president just as the white protect.
We have only the white people protection. What do you mean white protection?
Center of
Huh?
Center of
Please speak more loudly. I can't hear.
Center arrangement.
Center.
Arrangement.
ฮะเฮ้ยไอ้นั่นไม่ใช่ดังนะเธอพูดเล่นงอมแงมอยู่อย่างเงี้ยนะแล้วคุณจะได้ยินยังไงอ่ะ I can't hear you. Center of อะไร
Center arrangement.
Central arrangement.
Yet.
Central arrangement to do what? Suppose you go to another country and you get into an accident, right? Then there is a central arrangement to do what? Oh, don't know. Huh? So who? Get him to answer. This is wasting time. Because you must be prepared when you present something. You must be prepared that people might ask you about that, what you're talking about. So you have to understand what you're saying, see? And you should not then have to ask someone else for the answer. Okay, please go on.
So if anything happens to you, so imagine if you are a UK citizen and you live outside the UK and someone stab you and they, escape to some other country. If the countries that the criminal escape is still in the EU, you will have your right. You can sue the criminal and the criminal can be sent to
across the country.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to have a rule or law. Just like Hong Kong got into trouble because they can't transport the criminal to Taiwan because they didn't have this law. So Lam tried to pass this law in order that Hong Kong can send this criminal to Taiwan to be what do you call it? To be sued, okay, and dealt with. However, her attempt was misconstrued by the students in Hong Kong. Mostly the students felt that with that law, if that law passed, then it could mean that any of them, if they say something against the government, the central government in China, then this law can be used to send them across to mainland China to be prosecuted. So that's why they came out against this law. Same thing, you have this, right? In the EU, criminals can be sent across to any country to be prosecuted. Okay, so that's the security there. Please go on.
It's about the economic market its powers. It's great about the import and export opportunities and retail opportunities.
You have to talk more loudly and right into the microphone. Hold the microphone like this. Yes. Don't hold it like this. Hold it like this. Yes.
The next is about the easy to travel from the Schengen agreement. It made the EU borders. The last one is the Great Harmony. The joining of 28 members of the EU help to create the conflict.
Create.
Conflict.
Create harmony. Alright?
And what are the disadvantages
of the EU. First, talk about the fewer border and restriction mean more opportunity to have a bad event. For example, the highly coordinated Paris attacks in November 2015 killed 130 people. And next is tie the hand of local government on a certain issues. Mean the local government need to provide support the EU. And this one, currency support is required for the stable politics. For example, banking crisis in the Greeks was the first step of many towards a currency. And next is lack of transparency. It's been like a European Commission is not transparent because they are not directly selected by the European people.
And that's what the UK believes. The UK believes that the EU is very corrupted. They don't believe that there is transparency in the governing party.
And the last one, it costs money because the member states are providing billions in support to the EU every year. The thing is, it costs a lot of
money. So the people of EU is asking, why do we have to give a lot of money that we have made by ourselves? We should use that money to benefit our people instead of sending the money to benefit. No one knows whoever in the EU that we don't know about. They are not the UK citizen. Why do we need to send this much money each year to help them? That's what they are talking.
Next, what is Brexit? Brexit is British exit from the EU. Like it's changing its relationship to the bloc on trade, security and immigration. And this one, referendum date was on 23 June 2016 in David Cameron government, and there are three prime ministers who relate in the Brexit. The first is David Cameron, the second is Theresa May, and the current prime minister is Boris Johnson. He is a pro-Brexit.
So he's pro-Brexit. What about Cameron? Was he for or against?
He not want the UK to leave the EU.
So what did he do when the result of referendum said that they wanted to leave?
He resigned for the prime minister because they announced for the referendum the votes for the leaving is more than, and he decided to resign.
Respect that result.
Okay, and
it seems like he failed. He felt that he failed. Okay.
And this one referendum result show, as you can see, show that the vote for the leaving is more than the vote for the remain. The remain got 51.9% and remain got 48.1%.
So that's why they are asking for, some of them are protesting, asking for a second referendum, because they believe that if we have another one, and people are more educated as to the pros and cons of leaving EU, then they would have more votes to stay in the EU. That's what they believe. Okay.
Okay, and this one is referendum result by the location. As you can see in the blue, in the Scotland, the most percentage of the voting for the remain, like a 62%, and in the yellow, in England and Wales are the most percentage of voting for leave. And Brexit then, the first Brexit planned on the 29 March 2019 and is postponed on the 31 October 2019 because the government pushed unsuccessful, and the current plan on the Brexit will be on the 31st January and 31st of January 2020 or the next
year. It has been extended, but what will happen in between this, you know? From now to the 31st of January. Why is he only the one who can answer my question? So they're gonna hold another general election, like it's called snap election, because it doesn't leave a lot of time for preparation. Very soon. Before now and 31st of January, there is not even 2 months left, but they're gonna have general election. Okay. And someone will tell me why the general election is important? Why is it important? Okay, you will say that. Okay, afterwards, right?
Okay, the slide talk about the 3 reasons important for the Brexit. The first is about the economic, second immigration, and the last one is budget. The economic show that EU failed to address the economic problem that have been developing since 2008, like a 20% unemployment in Southern Europe.
Listen, important.
Okay, and next one, immigration. The cost of immigration is 16.8 billion pound, 1.2 from the EEA and the rest from the outside of EEA. EEA included EU, Norway, and Iceland.
Know that all countries in EU must sell their stuff at the same price. Like Apple. If an apple is sold in the UK as £1, then it must be sold not €1. Then it must be sold in Greece at €1 too. Why? He's gonna do it. Okay. He's gonna explain anyway. I thought beforehand. Okay. That's good. But enough. That caused the downfall of Greece. Because before that, you can buy banana and apples and vegetables at low price. And they can say the expense of traveling on a taxi or buying land or building a house is very low. See, they were not prepared for what happened when you suddenly join the EU. The money that they think they have saved that's good enough for their business, they can go and buy those stuff to stock in their stores. They thought they have enough. Turned out that they didn't have enough. They have very little because the cost of stocks grows because they have to be equal everywhere in the EU. See, that's the problem, right? That's the cons. Are you talking about that as a con, of EU now? Yes, because they're not prepared. So, a lot of people who are well-to-do became poor suddenly. They became very poor, and they don't have any employment. I went to Greece, and a lot of buildings stopped construction because no one had enough money anymore. The economy just dropped, and I got into a taxi, and the taxi driver said, he's got a PhD. He's got a PhD and 2 master's degree, but he couldn't find any jobs, engineering degree. But he could find a job, so he has to drive a taxi. And that's what he told me, that a lot of taxi drivers have a lot of high degrees, but no job anywhere. Very bad situation in Greece. And the same thing will be happening in Italy as well. So let's go on.
So this picture is talk about the reason why people come to the UK. On the left side, most immigration from the EU come to the UK for work. It means it will be happen a competitive labor market. And the right hand side, non-EU alive, most of them come to the EU for studying or joining a family. And this one is the contribution in UK need to pay to the EU, allow 20 billion pounds, but they got a discount in the yellow square, like a 41 billion pounds. And then EU fund back to the UK government in the blue square, like a 44.5 billion pounds. And this picture is an average of contribution. This picture is an average of net contribution for the 2014 to the 2018.
So can you summarize this? What are you trying to show? What does the figure say? What do the figures say?
Say the cost that the UK need to pay to the EU.
This
is a real.
It is increasing or what?
It is increasing for the EU fund back and the discount for the EU.
Okay.
And
So
this figure shows
is not fair.
yes. And this figure show the overall that the UK in the third of the total distribution like 11.5%. I think it's a lot of money need to pay to the EU.
So before I get to know you, these three.
No, you have to use a switch, I think. I don't know where the switch is.
Alright, so I will let you know this two word first. Single market is pretty, the handwriting is pretty sad, so I apologize for it. And custom union.
Oh no, I think it's a switch like this one.
So for these two, there are some identical. So first, the tariff, or it is a tax that we collect from the other countries' good.
But then you have to switch off the
quota of
so it
importing.
doesn't really work.
Importation.
The projector is still on.
So these three things, if we are the country that's in either the single market or the custom union, there won't be these three obstacles for doing the trading and stuff. However, the single market provide what we call freedom of movement. Which include
So with the single market, you don't have any tariff, no taxes.
yes. And for the single market, we also have the freedom of movement, which people can travel from one country to another country. So it's pretty related to the Schengen agreement.
And it's good for trade.
Yes.
But it's not good for like security consideration.
Yes.
So there are pros and cons
Yes.
of all these, right?
And the custom union. So there are one difference between custom union and the single market. The members of the custom union will come up with their own tariff.
What? No time, please.
Oh, sorry. So this, so member of the custom union will come up with their own tariff. So if the country outside the custom union want to do a trading and stuff,
Yes.
They will have to stick with this tariff.
But they have to agree upon this. So
Yes.
they have discussed this, and maybe you have to reduce it. You know, if the other countries don't like it, say it's too high.
So that's why I'm gonna explain these three types of Brexit. So the no deal and hard Brexit, it's pretty similar. So for the first two is United Kingdom leaving the single market and custom union.
Both of them, leaving both of them.
Yeah, it's
That's a no deal Brexit.
Yeah, that's a no deal Brexit. But for the hard Brexit, there are some sort of deal or agreement that United Kingdom still
Is that like that?
with the EU. So for example, if you are UK citizens and the UK leaves the EU with the no deal Brexit, there will be the settled arrangement for the UK citizens living abroad the EU. So the example that we previously told you can be applied. So UK citizen life may be at risk if the UK end up with no deal. But for the hard Brexit, it is okay for the EU citizens and UK citizens to live
abroad in other
outdoor.
countries. Yeah.
And for
So they are still safe.
yeah, there are still some law protected you for the UK citizens that live outside the UK. And now for the soft Brexit. Soft Brexit is opposed to the hard Brexit.
I'm going to ask you in my exam. That's good, right? Good idea?
It's
Ask about this in my final exam. Because you don't seem to be listening, guys. What are you guys doing over there? You're not listening. You won't be able to do my exam.
and so for the soft Brexit is a contradiction version of the hard and no. So it's mean that UK would still stay inside the single market and custom union of the EU. But if they end up with the soft Brexit, they still have to contribute some of the budget.
Money.
Yeah, some of the money to EU.
Yeah. Do you think that there really is any possibility of them getting the soft Brexit?
It's pretty hard to get the soft Brexit because the deals of soft Brexit is pretty identical to staying in the EU. Yeah, so it's pretty, have a lot of controversies throughout the citizen.
And also the people that was a hard Brexiters,
Yes, the hard Brexit.
they would not be satisfied with the soft Brexit. They would say the government, sort of, going to deceive them somehow. Yeah? Please go on.
And here are some consequences that might affect trade, economy, jobs, and membership and tax status. So for the trade, if the UK leave the EU, they might be able to set their own tariff. If the country outside EU or EU itself doing some trade in UK might be benefit with having a tariff that they will get the money from those countries. But for the cons, since EU is the UK main exporter, so it's about 44% of export that UK do with the EU is about 44%. So it might be harder to do trading in future if they have been setting the tariff.
Yes. But they feel, Boris would say, no, we just go and get a deal with the US instead, or China.
For the economy, there are some studies that say that the GDP of United Kingdom might rise by 1.6%. But on the worst case, it might reduce down 6.3% to 9.5%. And for the jobs, if UK can leave the EU with some kind of hard Brexit or stuff, they can set their own immigration policies, which will give the UK citizens more opportunities to look for the job inside the UK. But on the other hand, it would be harder for the UK citizens to look for the job outside the EU.
Isn't this fun? Pros and cons. So I forced you guys to go through the pros and cons of everything, so that you realize that in a lot of and almost everything that you would be considering in your life, there would be more than one side to the story, and you have to consider both sides and all sides, 360 degrees, and make your decision correctly. Okay, please go on.
And for the membership fees, so UK, they don't need to pay that much amount of money to the EU anymore if they ever pay to the EU. But there aren't any guarantee that that much of the contribution will help or improve the United Kingdom. So it's pretty risky to deal with that kind of budget. And for the taxation, since if the UK leaves the EU, as I told you before, it can set their own tariff, which it really relates to the trade one. So it might gain a more flexible trading with other countries. But and this is say that more susceptible to tax evasion. So this means that, so imagine that EU take have a 10%
Who candidate to become a lecturer?
for the car importing, right? For cars. But the country that in the custom union, and fun fact here, the countries that are in the EU custom union are not just EU countries. They are consist of, I believe, Turkey, San Marino, and some few other countries. So, for example, Turkey only set you only 1% of the cars importing. If the country want to sell their cars in the EU, it wouldn't be good to sell directly to EU because of this tax policy. They can instead just send to Turkey for 1%, and Turkey, which is part of the custom union, so then this part is free. So there might be a chance of
That's
tax
an
evasion.
improvement. It's good, right? To get out.
It's good for that country, but it's bad for, it's illegal. It's not illegal. It's
Behind-handed.
Yeah, it's
Behind-handed. Like not honest anyway, right? Sounds dishonest. But this is what's going on in trading. I mean, you have to maximize your profit.
it's not illegal, but it's kind of it's not legit.
Okay. Alright. So you have really 15 minutes. Okay. You might get to your questions. Okay. Alright.
And here are the top 5 barriers that work for the leaving the EU. And this table shows the different agent group vote. As you can see here, the older you get, the more likely that you will vote for leaving. So in our assumption, the younger generation group want to remain in the EU because it is easy for them to look for the job or doing business outside the UK. But on the other hand, the older generation might think that they work hard and pay the tax to the government, but how the government use the tax to contribute to the EU.
So that they make more nationalistic. They own guys, they own people.
And here are some facts that you might want to know. So Boris Johnson is for Brexit. The previous Prime Minister David Cameron and Theresa May, they both actually didn't want to leave the EU. But not for Boris Johnson. He's stand
Hard Brexiter.
on the side that UK should leave the EU. I don't think I need to talk much about the new election. But yeah, I just talk about it. So that's we say that this
Is it important? Why is it important? I'm interested. But maybe if you don't want if you don't want to say anything, it's okay. You want to go ahead to the questions.
Let's explain.
We don't want to go home later than 5:30.
So currently there are the government parties are led by the party named Conservative Party and
The Conservative.
the government, and the opposition Labour Party,
Labour Party.
which Boris Johnson is the head of the Conservative Party, and for the Labour Party, his name is Jeremy Corbyn. why is the 12 December election is important? So there are three possibilities. If the Conservative Party won the majority vote, it would.
I'm going to confiscate all your, what do you call them, tablets.
ยึดเลยเหรอครับ
Keep opening, yes, overnight too. And don't come crying to me, Argentina. Right, we'll switch it off, close it up, unless you are using it to search about Brexit. And while you're sitting here, I have already chased you guys to the front to listen to this. You are the actual science students when you go out in the workforce. This is very important information. Yes, because the next group is going to tell us what we're doing with our neighboring countries, which may or may not be the same as this coming to European Union.
The Conservative parties won most of the majority votes. It would be easier for them to get the UK out of the EU with the hard Brexit. Since most of the members of parliament in this party support for the hard Brexit. But on the other hand, if the Labour Party won the majority vote, it is more likely for the UK to have either the soft Brexit deal or even a second referendum. But this is pretty rarely as we discussed during the beginning of the class because it's pretty, they didn't respect the first referendum if they actually have the second referendum. So yeah, and another possibilities are neither of the parties have the majority of votes. So what will happen is what we call deadlock.
Yes. And this is a failure of democracy.
Yeah, so
that's what the article that I wrote said. This is why democracy fails.
So
you have to respect the majority, but it doesn't mean that the majority actually is the wisest. Right? But when there is a majority that goes on one way, then democracy says you have to respect that. But sometimes, when you run for the government, you promise this and that and those, you promise a lot of things. But then you get into the government, you don't honor your promise, a lot of the promises you don't do according to your promises anyway. And so, but the government, the people who want to stay in the government and get elected, they have to use populist policy, นโยบายเลยนะ What is it in Thai? Populist policy นโยบายประชานิยมอย่างเงี้ย just to please the people so that they would elect you into the government again. So you only get people who are really not honest in trying to really solve the problem of the country. They just promise all these things. Okay, that's a problem, you see. Yeah, that's why it works. But then is it good for the country? No, in the long run it's not good, is it? Because the government is going to use the money, the tax money from us to do all these silly things like chim chop chai.
Actually, the chim chop chai isn't that?
Is that good? That's not bad.
Isn't that bad?
No, it's not bad. Good intention.
But the 30 baht รักษาโรค is really.
That's really populist, no? But it is it.
But it's good for the poor guy.
For the poor. But in the long run, no, because you know what now? The hospitals don't have the money to buy any new equipments which are very expensive. But they don't get the money.
Yeah.
saw a report. That's not true. No, they put it out that actually that's not really correct. The thing is, it's the if you look at what the money is for, it's not for the generally for the military, it's for some other purposes. Yes. It's for like what they would say need to help when there is flooding. They have to buy all those equipments and they help with disasters and stuff like that too. It's not just for the military weapons. Yes.
Shim Chapchai is good for them because they put the money in our account 1,000 baht.
Yes.
And it just go to the rich people, you know. They just go to the shop in Tesco, that's B.Sc. They say it will go everywhere in the country, but it's not true. I think it's not go to the poor people.
That's not. It stimulates the market.
Yeah, it just go a bit into poor people, but it's not go all over the country.
That's what you're told.
Yeah.
Did you see the real figures? I heard in the news that actually a large portion goes to middle, the SMEs.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of the highest portion goes to the SME because small and medium.
And they also made a new one. It's like 100 baht can buy everything too. And I think it's just good for the high people. Like,
yeah, you should not just believe anything that you read. Okay.
No, I see for myself.
Where? It is the article that you sent in the media, isn't it?
No.
Where did you learn from this?
I learned for myself because I see a lot of people not go. Like if they form another province like in the south or in the north, they will come here to just in the Bangkok. They will choose Bangkok. They not choose like near the country.
Alright. But you know, can you blame the government for that though? It's the behavior and the habit of the Thai people, isn't it?
But it's just for the short
That
term.
it's very difficult to control because you know the way they have been educated.
And
they don't have much education, let me say, to really think for themselves.
I have a question here. And are Thailand gonna be like Venezuela?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm afraid about also. Yeah. The thing is, Venezuela was very rich, with oil and everything. But then they felt that they were not happy with the government, right? And there was the big gap of income gap between the rich and the poor, and they don't get the things that they're supposed to get, or the conveniences, so they came out on the streets. But now what happens is that the economy has gone down the drain. So they didn't have electricity for not many days, sometimes, you know. Because just like Hong Kong, people will come out on the street to protest about something that they are not satisfied with the government. They think that they can come out on the street to protest. And they would continue to protest like for months. And then what happened to the whole country? The economy of the whole country would go down the drain. So that's what I'm afraid of, that sometimes people feel injustice, they're not satisfied with the income gap and everything they have. They see the difference between the rich and the poor. Why the rich gets richer? Why am I poor?
Yeah.
And then they come out on the street, but then that's not good because it's even worse to the economy, right?
Yeah, but in Thailand it's so similar, but the money in Thailand much stronger than Venezuela.
Economy,
that's the point. That's why
it's still very strong, actually.
Yeah, that's why I think Thailand not gonna get close.
Not gonna be like Venezuela. Oh, hopefully. I'm afraid that we're gonna be like that because I see a lot of countries now, like in Iraq and Venezuela and Lebanon, they have protesting on the streets. Close up the streets, the roads. You can't travel anywhere. You can't earn any money because you can't go to work because they block off all the streets and they burn and hurt people. And that's no good, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, this government they buy the military weapon from the US because it is about the deal with US. US deal with economic things with Thailand, but Thailand have to buy the military weapon from US too.
Yes. Okay, that's a good point. Hey, listen, he's offering an explanation why we buy a lot of military weapons from the US. Because we're depending on the US to help us with the agricultural produce. They're gonna buy them from us. Oh, okay. Yes, we are doing that. Aren't we doing that? I think we're doing that. We are doing that. Why not? Why not? No, we did that during the World War II. Yes, we went with the Japanese and then the Senitai, the Free Thai people went with the US, the Allies, and we came out very well. We won. Whatever happened, we won. Japanese won, we won. We would have won. If the US won, then we would win. That's what happened, and that's a policy that we have been using all these time. So, but anyway, do you have questions? Questions, please.
I have a question.
No, go to the questions, please.
Question เลยเหรอจ๊ะ There's still one thing left.
No. No, come on. You gave a lot of information already. What do you want to ask us? No, you don't know the hidden agenda when they, are spending money doing this with one country, and they might get something back from that country, They are willing like this, but we just look at this number and then we say we're not happy with it. We don't know what is the purpose of their doing this yet, the inner reason that they might have. So, I don't know. We just have to wait and see. Do you agree with Brexit? I like this last one. Why don't we discuss this last one? What are the effects? Come on. What? I like. We don't have time. No. We have. Don't you want a break? You have to break for 15 minutes and then you give one out for the next group. See? So why don't we discuss the last one here? Okay, go ahead. Which one? Choose one. Yes, we have time only for one. Which one? Okay, the last question. Who would like to answer this question? Yes?
Thailand economics is depend on import. Import product. And if UK leaves the EU, it will affect the world market.
Yes.
And Thailand
will be affected too. You think the economy will get worse? For sure, it would get worse.
Not that.
Don't you believe that it might get better? Can it not be better? Oh, she answered answer. You didn't listen to an answer. What's your answer?
Maybe some of the British in Thailand will go back to their country since they have more space for them to work. Since maybe they don't have a job there since there are people from EU work in their country. And we won't have any English teacher in Thailand.
That's very minor effect. Bigger impact than that, please. Get 1 point anyway. Anyone?
It's like at first the EU have a lot of the base of the economy on the UK, right? But if the UK Brexit on the EU, then the base that belong to the EU will have to find a new place for be the base for marketing for business.
Yes.
And I think Thailand is a very good place for them.
So we would benefit, in your opinion. We might be the base instead of the UK. Wow. Do you agree with this? Don't agree every time if people tell you something. You should question and think, oh, is he right? Maybe he's not right. Why not? Anyone? You're not listening and arguing with them. Leaving me to argue. He said that we benefit from it. Because the countries that have been using the UK as the base to do business with other countries would now move to Thailand, use Thailand instead. Because it will be easier to do business from Thailand if we make all the conditions, flexible and conducive.
I think it depends on the new agreement we are going to give to UK. If UK just decide to do either the non-diversion or not. If they do it like that, then we need to deal with the tariff, the taxes, the quota again. And we can decide later that it's going to benefit us or going to make us.
But the thing, what I remember, in the past we have suffered a lot. For example, if one country tested our seafood or our vegetable or tomato, and they found, some kind of pesticide residues, then the whole of EU banned our product, our seafood product, instead of just one country. This is very severe, very serious. Suddenly, when it is discovered, say by some organization in the UK or in, say, Germany, then all the countries ban, don't import our seafood. Our seafood industry suffered a great deal. We had to try to correct the problem, and make sure and tell them, no, we didn't use this pesticide, test again, all that, and try to make them change this. So, whenever something happens with just one country, if they remain in the EU, then all the countries in the EU will have to join and do the same thing to us. Now, if they don't join into EU, each separate country is on their own independently, then we can deal separately with each country. We can lower the tariff for this one, and then we don't have to worry about the other one. Something like that, you see? That's my argument, yes?
I think it will affect on the mass scale of the world economy because the EU and the Britain will lose their economics because they will lose their economics value and it will
EU and
the UK. Both of them will lose their economic value. So this will be the same as Thailand. Tom Yam Goong in the
we're going to have Tom Yam Goong.
So they will have an effect all around the world because the value of the economy of the UK and the EU is falling.
Yes.
This will impact all around the world economic market. So all the money will
stocks and everything will drop.
it will cut
And we
off.
have a recession. And we have a worse unemployment rate. Our companies will lay off a lot of people. And the job market will be very restricted by the time you graduate. So please be aware of that. Okay, so thank you very much. We take a break off. You want a break? Take a break off. Only 10 minutes, no more than that. And then we will start with the next group. What happened to your hairstyle?มันต้องถึง5 โมงครึ่งนะคะ Okay, why don't we start our next group presentation right away.
Okay, hello everyone. We are a 14 group. We are going to talk about AEC and Asian Giant. My name is Yabok Sinjaran.
And my name is Panchanokkalan.
Okay, let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to B.Sc News. Today our topic is about AEC and Asian Giant. Do you know what ASEAN is? Let me tell you something about it. ASEAN stands for Association of Southeast Asian Nations. It was founded in 1967. First 5 countries that founded is Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, and Singapore. Then after that, other 5 countries joined it, exclude Timor-Leste. With the aim of cooperation for a sustainable economic development. We invite two experts here to talk about it. Our next guest is a Chinese leader. Okay, take a seat, take a seat. Okay, first of all, welcome you to our shows. Okay, first, I'll tell everybody about this. The main goal is to cooperate. We're working together, but that's the big goal. I want to know the near future goal. Do you know what is the near future goal of AEC is?
We have the future goal, which is MPAC 2025, which is Master Plan on ASEAN Connectivity. We have 5 goals, which is sustainable infrastructure, digital innovation, seamless logistics, regulatory excellence, and people mobility.
Okay, so could you briefly explain it, like each by each point?
For sustainable infrastructure, we increase private and public infrastructure investment. For digital innovation, we enhance the impact of open data and increase the data management practice and cross-border data. For seamless logistics, we lower the supply chain cost and increase the competitiveness in ASEAN.
Okay.
For regulatory excellence, we lower the cost of doing business in ASEAN and attract more investment into ASEAN. For people mobility, we support the ease of travel and reduce the gap between vocational skills, demand and supply across ASEAN member states.
Okay, I see. So these 5 are our goals for 2025, right? But 2025 is mean like for 2019 to 2025, or they have something else, like anything. So how should we achieve it? Like this is the goal, and how do we do to achieve the goal?
We have ASEAN Blueprint 2025 to achieve the goal.
So it means 2025, so 2019 to 2025, or from 1967 since Asian established or not?
The Blueprint 2025 was created since 2016, and we have a last version, which is Blueprint 2008 to 2015.
Okay, so could you describe the 2025 Blueprint right here, right now?
For a highly integrated and cohesive economy, we facilitate the movement of goods, service, and investment in order to increase ASEAN trade and production.
So the next one is a competitive, innovative, and dynamic ASEAN. What is it?
We focusing on increase the competitiveness and productivity overall.
And the last one, enhance connectivity and sectoral cooperation.
We enhance the connectivity and sectoral cooperation in transport, e-commerce, energy, tourism, and minerals.
Okay, I see. So, according to what you said before, you say that in 2000 there was a movement 2008 to 2050. So, how is it different from 2025?
In blueprint 2025, we more focus on competitive and connectivity across ASEAN with cooperation between ASEAN members.
Okay, so you mean like we are going to talk much more like than before, like that? Like we are going to, okay, so, okay, this one is very interesting. If you drive a car to university, you might see the poster about the 35th Asian Summit and Other Relay Summit, right? It's on every inch of the road. Yeah, so what is Asian Summit? Could you tell us, Ms. Tanchino?
Yes, sure. The ASEAN Summit is like by a meeting held by the members of the Association of the Southeast Asian Nation of ASEAN. In relation to economic, political, like security and country development of Southeast Asian countries. Yes.
Okay, so what is the purpose of this summit?
The purpose of this summit is advancing partnership for sustainability.
Could you describe it?
Yes, sure. First, I have to say that there are four main points supporting this theme. The first one is connectivity in ASEAN, such as transportation by high-speed train. We would like to connect our country with China and other countries in ASEAN by no one left behind. By first, no one left behind in this context means that we will develop our country and we will also support the lower economic countries get good connectivity too. The second one is human quality of life development. Well, we observe that Japan could take good care of elders, so we decide to ask them to help us by setting up the elderly school. The third one is strengthening stability, which is how to manage frontier together and how to solve the human trafficking problem. And last one is sustainable development. Like we will teach the children like how fishing. We will just not giving them fish to feed them to be like such. Yeah, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. So it's called ASEAN Summit, but despite the 10 countries in ASEAN, do you think there will be more connection with other countries else?
Yes, sure. Now there are like
Okay, so the next one, I captured it from the television. I saw the word ASEP, and I don't know what it means. So could you describe it? What is ASEP? It's like an agreement or something?
ASEP is RCEP is abbreviation of the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which is composed of free trade agreement FTA between the 10 member states of the ASEAN and its 5 FTA partners like China, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, Australia. Actually, the ASEAN should have like 16 members, but India just decided not to participate in the ASEAN. Yeah. Because they think that the ASEAN agreement with China and ASEAN countries does not reflect its original intent, and the outcome is not fair or balanced. So they decide not to participate.
Okay, so in the present day, most of the war and most of the competition is about trading. So do you think it will affect the ASEAN or not?
Well, I think if the agreement goes well, there won't be like the trade war because the USA will not fight against the other 10 countries. And moreover, any goods from China that would not get to the American tax barrier, they will distribute to other countries in ASEAN because it's easier.
Okay, so that's all for the first part of our shows. So let's see something interesting.
มึงเคยคิดปะถ้าพวกเราเป็นแฟนกันมันจะเป็นยังไงวะ
ชอบแต่ละเป็นเพื่อนกันไม่ชอบ
try not to use the video clip that has Thai language in it. Okay, even though there is an English translation in the Thai subtitle. But it has got too much in Thai, I think. Should try to, But what is the point? How is this related to your topic of presentation? Can you explain, please?
Yes, from this clip you have seen like different country and different language. One of them is like something somehow interesting and its language so stand out.
Why is the song connected to ASEAN community?
We just want to show that there's like the cultural things like music or something that we can combine together in the ASEAN. Like the
But ASEAN is mostly trading, isn't it? You said so yourself.
ASEAN is all of the ASEAN is about 10 countries joining together in each way, like cultural and everything else. But the topic is economics. But I just want to show that not just economics, there is the cultural things going on too. Like we can exchange our culture.
Exchange our culture. Okay. The thing is the song, the meaning of the song. If you just listen to the wording of the song or the lyrics, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with.
Yeah, the writing is just the writing.
Connected to economy or trading or even culture. It's just, something to do with teenage love and things like that, right? Okay. Alright, but that's not the purpose of the video. To definitely to enjoy. But go to find a song. It's okay to use a song. I don't say that you shouldn't use a song. I have been using songs to get the messages across on all the topics. I have been showing you songs, right? So okay, it's good that you try to find some songs so that you can enjoy the music as well. But then the music should have something that is connected to the topic that gets some message across. Yes. Okay, please go on.
First, I would like to know that why was this the election giant?
Most of people didn't
What
know.
are they? There are more than one. There were more than one giant. What are Asian giants?
Okay, so most of you don't know what is Asian giant. It's not a building, it's not a giant living in Asia or something like that, but it's the word we used to call the big economic country inside the Asian nation.
In Asia.
In Asia. So for now, they have 3 countries: is China, India, and Japan.
And why China is becoming an Asian giant?
Why is China called a giant?
Reason China not only have a lot of people, but also have high rapid economic growth rate. In over the past 40 years, China has introduced a lot of landmark market reform to open up trade rate and investment growth.
Growth. It is number one from what I read. Number one country, right? in the world that has the highest, the biggest marketing power right now. Even not the US. No, not from what I heard though. Maybe different sources say different things. But the latest one that I saw, it says China, because China has buying power. So it depends on what you use to measure it. Okay. Yeah. So it actually depends on what factor you use to measure this ranking. Okay, please go on.
China has very large country.
So it has a very high buying power because they have a lot of, population.
And also have a lot of resources. That's why China easily to invest in their.
Do you think that the political system they have, although also the economical policy that they have, and the government and the person who rule the country has a great influence that will make the country a great one or not? You think it has a lot of impact? Who rules the country, what the political system is in that country? Are these two factors important? The question is, suppose that this country has a lot of population, right? And it has a lot of resources, yes. But then if they are not using this current political system, or they don't have the ruling power, how a person becomes the head of the government and rule the country. They don't have, if they didn't have this, would China still be as great as what it is now? You think? Does it have very important, it is an important factor or not? Shh. You're not, paying attention and then you're shouting around so that we have to shout over your voice. I have to teach you again tomorrow. I'm not going to have voice left tomorrow. What would like to answer my question? Were you listening to my question? Yes? Microphone, please.
No.
You don't think so?
Yeah, I think that if China didn't use the one person to rule the country, like I'm saying, they wouldn't have
the system of electing the person, to be on top.
Yes. The growth rate of the economy cannot be like nowadays. Yeah, because all of the country will be go into the same direction.
Yes.
Yeah, they can control the population, the resource.
They can't control.
Yes.
Yeah. If it turns out to be, say, a democratic country, then maybe.
China is a lot.
China is a large country. It's very difficult to control. If it's a democratic country, maybe, they can't control how to impose their policy. If they want to do it this way, then there would be people that would be against the policy and they can say, this is what I do. And I'm not going to... Why not? India, are you for India? Okay, tell us why. Tell us why you think India.
For me, India has a chance to growing up more with the high technology, and also have high chance to export to the other country to the problem of China because of communism.
So you're saying that India would not have the problem because they're not communism. They're not communistic. That's what he's saying. You may agree or not. It's up to you. Yes.
I think China will grow better because, as you say, as communist, so the government have to decide everything. But in India, it's not like the income gap from the rich people and poor people. So the rich will richer, and as you say, the poor will poorer and poorer.
So you're saying that will make India lose the fight. But in China, the income gap is very high also. If you go there, you will see that there are still very poor people, you know, living in a very small hut. And the gap is growing as well.
But nowadays, as the China is communist, so the government will like develop each.
It will be easier to narrow the gap. What do you think? India. Because there is very good reason why India can beat China. Right now they're sort of like taking a second place so that nobody would look at them as a competitor. Not like China, grows too fast, China, and became too big. That the US gets very of China and got into a trade war with China, not with India. Anything else? What is the advantage that India actually had, you know, over China? You think? No, not at all, not at all. What about their English speaking ability? What about that? What about that? No, but you go to China, then they can't speak English. Okay, good argument. Good argument. You think then that in the near future, Chinese is going to be more important than English?
Chinese will become important.
But then, don't you think that English is still going to be the medium language of the world? It's still going to be that. It's still not Chinese. So we're not going to take Chinese, right? I'm going to take Chinese again. But you know, anyway, what is the language, common language used in, say, stock market? It's still English, it's still English. The international stock market. May change to Chinese?
First of all the language can be changed into the Chinese or Hindu language.
But don't you think that Chinese is very difficult to learn? Yes. It's not that easy. Every language is so difficult, and just like Thai, it's not scientific language. Yes. It's like Thai. It's not scientific to use Thai in science. Yeah. Well, what else you might show it? Questions next. Show the questions. You might want to move to the questions. What else you have to say? Don't go too much into detail. The question should be, we have seen the problems with Brexit, right? Is anyone going to tell us whether we're going to have the same problem? Just like Brexit. Is this going to become just like just like European Union? The EU is IAEC. Do you think that we're going to have the same? And you should not go into too much detail about this. The thing that you should concentrate is on the pros and cons of, suppose you have the AEC, what kind of bad impacts that's going to have to Thailand, and what are the good outcome that we can benefit from AEC Thailand, so that we can be prepared for, when actually this comes about, and what will happen to us.
It's from the Asian summit that we talk about. There is called ASEAN. India doesn't want to
join
within ASEAN because they didn't get any benefit from it. It's like a Brexit because UK didn't get a benefit from EU, so that's why they want to break out. But right now India didn't get a benefit from ASEAN, so they want to break out, like not joining.
So are we going to have the same problem like Greece? The problem with Greece is when they joined, they have to use euro, the same currency. See? With every other country in the EU. And they have to, the goods and the commercial goods, they all have to be sold at the same price across Euro community. And that creates a lot of problems for these countries. That everything becomes a lot more expensive than before. See? Are we going to have the same problem? Yes or no? You have to know. We're going to have the same problem or not. And also, cons. You're not going to talk about cons, pros and cons of ASEAN community when it comes to the religion. Is what? About what? What are the cons?
One is they cooperate together to get a higher GDP growth.
That's a pro.
But
I want a con. Come on. Anyone? Yes?
I think that the advantage of this one is like, the currency in Singapore is better than Thailand.
Right.
And
it's stronger.
It's stronger. So it's not good for us to be used the same currency.
Yes. But the thing is, you should say that joining the ASEAN community, right? Do we have to use the same currency? No, that's what you should tell them. You should say that as an argument against what he said. You were not listening to what he said. He raised the point because I asked whether we're going to have the same problem like Greece did. Because Greece had to adopt euro. The same currency, right? So that makes the price of all their goods the same and hiked up a lot higher than previously, and they were not prepared for that.
That if they join the AEC, they will the export will be easier, and maybe people from each country in the AEC will be find it easier to order something online, and there will be more more rating of selling something out of the country, and it will be better in the economics way.
Yes, so that's a pro, right?
Yeah, pro.
I'm trying to find a con. Good point, but what? There must be a con, right? Yes.
So the con is when we are in the ASEAN, the people can work around here, and the people around the ASEAN will come to Thailand to take the advantage of the wage of the work, because Thailand has like the highest wage around.
We know.
Yes. So.
We are all the lowest. What do you mean? The lowest wage limit.
So
We have the highest of that.
okay, so people from other country will try.
And we lose our jobs.
Yes, that time people will lose our jobs.
Okay, that's the argument, the minimum wage. Thank you. Because we have the highest minimum wage. And also, what? Take it already. Think about something else. Sorry about that. See, you should be sitting in front. Is what I keep telling you. Come and sit in front. Do you agree then? Do you agree? Do you agree with him that people will come over and take our jobs? And what should we do? Do you think that will really affect us? Then what should we do? No! Get her to think and give me an answer.
This will improve the.
Is there nothing we can do? Suppose we don't do anything, of course we're going to lose our jobs to these guys because they are being more skilled. Right? The people from Singapore will have very good English and they will be very skillful people. And now what happens to our workforce, our labor? We're going to lose jobs to them. So what should we do? Are you sure that, do you agree that we're going to suffer in that way or you not? Yeah. You agree that we will suffer. So this is a cause of joining the community, right? But is that inevitable? Could avoidไม่ได้ unavoidable. I mean, there's nothing we can do to avoid that, to avoid that.
So the company should give the chance to the Thai people
first. So you are suggesting that the government puts out a rule, a regulation that the Thai government, the companies must consider the Thai workers first.
Yeah.
But that's against the rule of the ASEAN community. If we join it, the regulation says you have to give equal consideration. No discrimination against people from different countries. You have to decide who to hire on the basis of their ability and their skills, irrespective of whether they are Thai or not Thai. That's it. That's why we're going to suffer, isn't it? But what should we do? Can we do something? No, you can talk around today already, right? Wow, the choice is a lot. Yes.
Our people and we go to take a job to other
So, why don't we improve our skills and then we can go to other countries to find a job too? What countries do you think will have the chance to get the jobs and on what area? What kind of profession? We will have a better chance of doing and we are better. You know? Yeah, but what do you want to say? You can think about that. What do you think is the career or the profession that we will be better at it? Yes?
we should improve ourselves and learn a lot. If we sufficient is categories students easily with practice area.
To become an expert, right? To have expertise in certain areas that the market needs. For example, what areas that the market will actually need so that whatever comes, we're going to get a job. We're not going to lose our job to people. What areas do you think? What's your question? Show your question. You have question? Do Thailand get benefits? What? We know this. Okay, a lot of people say that. Which country do you think that will become the next step? one, the fourth one, yes. เอาละกูโดไม่you talk already today, yeah? How many times did you say? Equal to 2. เป่ายิงฉุบScissors, rock, paper. Scissors, rock, paper. No, scissors, rock, paper. Come on, in English. No. Scissors, rock, paper. Scissors, rock, paper. You got to give the answer. Which one?
For me, the country will become the next Asian man is Japan.
Japan is already in there. Yeah. We have counted Japan. Next. What's next?
I think it is Myanmar.
Oh, Myanmar, heรอ? Why do you think so? You must have reason. Tell me the reason. Maybe it's reasonable.
First of all, Myanmar has a chance to improve like China.
But they have this Rohingya problem, right?
Yes.
And it is still controlled by the military. It's not very democratic, and it's quite corrupted. Anyone else? You and then you. I think first. Last, and then we go home. What do you think?
Before answering Singapore, the Asian giant already owned.
Singapore
is considered as a tiger of Asia.
It's a tiger, really, because it's small. Giants you think of countries with a big population.
And I would say Indonesia.
Indonesia. Why Indonesia? What makes Indonesia a very good candidate?
Well, in the business world, lot of startups that so for example Grab. Sorry, it's get.
So they have innovative ideas, right? Initiation.
There are a lot of many startups
companies
that have lots of market value. So they're really good.
What is keeping it from? It has a lot of population too. But what is keeping it from becoming
corruption in the Indonesian government?
Oh, the bad government.
Because
it's corrupted also.
Yeah. Even the member of parliament in Indonesia isn't safe at all. Because I've heard that I don't know when, but the terrorist group I was capture one of the Indonesian parliament and to eliminate.
Oh yeah. So law enforcement is a problem. Security. What about you, Jess? Candidate.
I think Brunei because
Vietnam. Brunei has very small population though. You think
it's very rich and it contains a lot of foreign resources.
Can't hear her at all. Wait, what? Okay, last person there. No, come on.
Because this country is very rich and is full of the resources of oil.
Oil. Okay. This one, what do you think?
I think South Korea.
South Korea.
Because
Right.
South Korea is in the
7 what?
7 country growing GDP in the world.
Top growth, highest growth GDP. Growth, the gross domestic product growth. Yes. You first. First, I think I saw her hand first. Yes.
Myanmar like him because
Myanmar
just opened the country in several years ago.
Yes.
And their environment is
want to come in their country. But then Thailand would be better, right? Because we opened ourselves a long time ago. Just because they recently opened itself doesn't mean that they will jump up to be the giant. Yes, because they have still problem with the political system. Yes?
I think Vietnam.
Vietnam.
Because Vietnam has two sides. One side which like China. When you look at goods, you find that many of them made from Vietnam. Their labor price are like
low.
Yeah.
Labor
like
cost.
from Indonesia, but Vietnam also has sites like Thailand in like
tourism.
Yes.
And they have very studious population. Their people work very hard. They are willing to work very, very hard.
Like Chinese.
Like the Chinese. Don't you want to go home? Last person. Two more. Two more. That's it. Get microphone here. Who's holding the microphone? ก็ไปยกที่เขาจะไปบอกเขายกทำไมเขาไม่ได้ยกเองอ่ะ
Like to say, Thailand is not good to be a next.
We will never become one. You think in 50 years, no?
Since in 20 and 25 and 10 years ago, there was ASEAN community and there was a red coat group, nation group, and they broke and hurt
the economy. Also, you're saying
of this country and this name.
They burned the building too. So you're saying that our country is very unstable. We don't have stability.
Yes.
So it is very important for the economy to grow if we have stability, social stability in the country. Very good point. It is very important also for a country to have social stability first, for the economy to grow. So if we still have these protests coming out in the street and setting fires on trucks and buildings, and shooting people down sometimes, then that's keeping Thailand from being able to become one of the Asian giants. Yes?
I think South Korean like her.
Oh, why?
Many business start at
Samsung.
What everyone will phone at.
The government actually invests a lot of money into research and development. That's the thing about South Korea. Not like Thailand. Thailand does not invest in research and technology. So we'll never be one of the giants. Right? Okay, so I conclude the class today. Thank you for your participation. See you tomorrow.